Good evening, everyone. It's 11 o'clock and time for Nightly Muse with Jason Tweed. I am Jason Tweed. Well, it's a Monday, and so it was back to work day for me. I actually had a really good day at work. We signed a new client, um, and looking forward to working with them. A quick shout out to RGB Homes. They are going to have us do their website migration and manage their online services the next for the next year. So thanks to them for helping not really fund this program, but certainly make it so that I can afford to do this in my spare time. Uh, Tonight we're going to talk about. This is actually the second part in my series, Making Money While Sitting on Your Butt. As you can see, I am physically disabled, and I have made a living for the past pretty much my entire life while sitting on my butt. Since 1997, I've done that from home in front of my computer, which is pretty impressive considering that most people weren't even online in 1997. So I was, in a sense, a pioneer, and Amazon would not be profitable for 7 more years where my business was. Since then, I've evolved multiple times in my career. I consider myself a serial entrepreneur, and I've run several businesses that I started, and now I do marketing for a variety of companies through my company MediaStead. Um, Last time, and I'll put a link to the last video if you missed it in the description, but last time we talked about how the first step to being a success online is to become better educated. Education is absolutely essential because you are going to have to compete based on knowledge. Regardless of anything that you do online, you have to be better than others because when you're competing online, it's a very fair playing field. It's one of the things I like about it, but it's also one of the things that makes it difficult. So that's key. The second key, and this is what we're going to talk about tonight, is finding your niche, or a niche if you prefer. But you've probably heard the old business adage, find a need and fill it. And that's very true. The difference is that the needs that you can find online are not limited by geography or by uh, income or by age or by education. The only difference is that you have to demonstrate clearly that you can provide something for someone at a value that you can convince them they can afford, and that you can do that consistently. And that's an important point, is consistency has been without a doubt the key to my success. When I first started out, I was an eBay seller, and I gradually grew my eBay business into one that had $250,000 a year in sales. The way I did that was by establishing a great reputation online and by being very, very approachable and very, very authentic. And those were the keys to my success because there are 1,001 people out there trying to make a quick buck. And if you can demonstrate that you'll be there for the long term, then you're going to make many more sales. Later in my career, I started a tea company. And that was one of my favorite experiences because I did it as an experiment in social media marketing when that was very young. And we ended up growing to about 3,000 customers. And in their case, the way I did it was the consistency was not about the tea. The consistency was in my advertising and specials. As I added customers, I marketed to them extremely consistently over the period of the 3 years I ran the business. And every time they opened an email, they knew they could expect some deal. Now, I was careful not to ever say everything's on sale because then they would never buy anything. But what we did do is every week we had a new type of tea you could try, and it was deeply discounted. And often we were able to sell out of that tea before we even had it in stock. And it was a great way to get pre-orders for a new flavor. We also were able to get a large number of people commenting about a brand new flavor right from the beginning. The next part about finding your niche is you have to find something that you can do and differentiate yourself from everyone else that could do it. When I did that with the tea business, our big focus was on leaving a small footprint in terms of impact on the environment. And we actually, everything that we ran about that company was very minimalist in focus. We used very little plastic in our packaging. But because of that, it also saved us a lot of money because we didn't have to pay shrink wrapping companies. We were able to package it by hand. And what looked like amateur packaging was created actual loyalty because our amateur packaging was very earth friendly. We also looked for other ways to be earth friendly, including our tea bags were European style, which has no tag or string. And that's normally something hard to sell in America, but we basically said that those two elements, a staple, a tag, and a piece of string, adds to our waste. And we were of the opinion that if you're going to serve 1 billion cups of tea a day, that every little bit of waste prevention helps. So even though we were more likely in the 3,000 cups of tea a day department, that philosophy rang true with our customers. The last thing that you have to do online to be successful is make people feel good about supporting your business. And what I mean by that is there are, on the retail sector, Amazon and Walmart are the 300-pound gorillas, or 800-pound gorillas, whatever. When you're a 300-pound gorilla, you have to give them something to feel better about buying from you than buying from the company that will deliver for them in 24 hours for free. Now, it doesn't mean that you can take 6 weeks and charge them $20, because that will lose the battle to Amazon. However, if you can ship in a reasonable amount of time, reasonably and expensively, they will come to you if they like your company. That is even more true in the service sector. Likability is critical. So whatever you do, create a perception and persona around your company that makes them feel good about doing business with you rather than doing business with someone else. Especially if you are offering information products or expertise products such as consulting, it's even more important that they are able to identify with the person creating or providing those services. We don't have a lot of watchers on this Monday night. Apparently everyone is burnt out. So I hope you will leave your comments or questions in the comments area below this video, and I will happily answer them. The last thing I want to focus on is creating your business entity, which will be the next chapter in our How to Make Money While Sitting on Your Butt. When choosing a business name, you're also going to need to choose a domain name. And one of the things that you have to determine and start to think about is you have this new service or product, and you need to find an easy to remember domain name and a catchy business name. There are 3 schools of thought. I'm going to cover them in depth in our next program. However, one is brand awareness, and that's where you can create a short, catchy brand name and domain. And that can be very powerful. We've seen apps and other websites that have odd, unusual names, and they are short, they're catchy, they're easy to remember, easy to spell, and that's important. The next school of thought is sell your services. Focus your business name on the services you sell. My parent company is 3Net Marketing because ultimately that's what I was selling, was me. So when I offer consulting services under that brand, it's because I was focused on delivering services which were based on my reputation. Later, we changed our name to Mediastead, and that's because the company grew. I merged with my business partner, and at that point, we wanted more of a brand reputation, one that was not dependent on an individual, but dependent on the reputation of the agency. And I was able to leverage some of my reputation onto that new brand. The last way you can do it is by geography. and this may sound very strange, but there's lots of businesses that can be done from that cover a geographic area. So if your company or your uh, product or service is going to be limited in terms of where you can provide service geographically, then you may want to consider that as part of your business name. Uh, One of the clients that I'm pitching currently is a pizza place, and no matter how big they get, they're never going to sell pizzas beyond their store locations. So what we did is rather than focus heavily on their brand, we focused on building websites that were uh, identified their local area and were easily searchable and easy to find and felt very much part of your hometown. That way, in the towns they serve, they'd be able to compete with the likes of Domino's, Papa John's, and Pizza Hut. And realistically, they aren't going to be competitors with them unless they can convince people that A, the pizza tastes better, and B, they are supporting the local hometown eatery. So using that in the name of their company as well as the name of their domain name for their pizza delivery service became an essential marketing strategy. So as you're finding your niche, remember that building your brand around that niche so it reinforces it from day one begins with naming your business. Well, that's all for this Monday evening. I want to thank everyone for watching the recording, and we'll talk with you again tomorrow night. And I have what I hope will be a special treat for everyone. So I'll keep the mystery alive. Please remember to subscribe. Our goal is to get to 100 subscribers by the end of our first month, November 1st. Thanks, everyone. Good night.